Welcome to another episode of Laugh Your Way to the Top podcast. I'm Austin Fain. With me today is the infamous and the beautiful and the handsome and the smart and the wonderful, and he makes everyone's dreams come true, Chad Glassburn.
Thank you.
You like the intro?
That was pretty good.
I think I killed it.
I liked it.
I encompassed your entire being.
Sounds like how my wife introduces me.
Every time you come in the room?
Yes.
I want you to get that respect. Minnie doesn't respect me like that.
That's not true.
She doesn't. She hates me.
It's not true that I get that.
Oh, no, you do. I've seen it.
Right.
I've seen it. I've seen when you get home, you don't even touch the concrete in your garage. She rolls out the red carpet right into the door. So, buddy, I'm glad to have you on the podcast. I've been really looking forward to getting some different perspectives outside Perfect Steel, which you're kind of a part of, but not technically a part of, which I think is cool. And getting some outside perspectives on some stuff. You know my industry pretty well. I know very little about your industry. Why don't you tell us what kind of industry you're in?
Banking. So I'm specifically a commercial lender. That's what I did out of college. I took a break at the Great Recession for about 10 years. Got back in it with Lake City. I think it's going on 7 years in August. So I do loans for C&I businesses and real estate.
A lot of real estate.
I do a lot of real estate. That's kind of probably, if I had a specialty, that's what they would call. I like the bigger deals. I like the more complex deals.
Yeah, and you've been pretty successful in that by your own right, at least since I've met you. It seems like you have a lot of talent for that business and stuff, and we kind of talked about on here is like what it takes to be a salesperson. You're not actually like a salesperson. You're more of putting people in the same room together, putting products together, money products together for larger consumers, I guess it would be. Like, how would you describe what you do and why that you think that you have any skill at it at all?
Fair enough. I would say it's sales. I mean, I think probably 95% of every job is sales. Whether you're selling to a customer or selling internally to your boss, you're selling. So yeah, we put together products and packages of various loans and structures for manufacturers, service industry. If someone's buying real estate, an apartment, an office building, whether it's for investment purposes or owner occupied. And that has, it's been a good 7 years. Famous saying, at least that I say in banking, is you're only as good as your next deal. That's, kind of the hunt, which is the part I like. I like to beat goals. They set pretty tough goals there. Goals that aren't really, from what I was told, they're not really, I shouldn't say they're not meant.
You'd have to get on one.
They're not meant to hit, but they're very aspirational.
Sure.
If you can get, I don't even know what the percentage is, 75% of your goals.
You're killing
That's
it.
really good. Yeah.
You're a good bank employee. At that point.
So, I set goals when I first started, and I told our executive vice president that, I wanted, in 5 years, I wanted this much in loans. And that was a goal I set for myself. He thought that was pretty high, but I did it.
Then you did it.
I did it,
So
yeah.
then they keep raising your goals probably.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
I learned a long time ago when we have like I call it a pipeline that I keep of any deal I'm working on. And it can be ones that I've just, I met somebody the other day and they said, hey, I've got a apartment complex. I'm looking to build a 30 unit. I'll get some stuff to you. I put that in my pipeline just so I don't forget.
Right.
Or it could be something I'm almost getting ready to close. I've already got it approved and so on and so forth. So I found out 1 year, I think it was like my second or third year, towards the end of the year, that's when they set the goals for the next year. And I must have given my boss my pipeline, she has access to anything, but I had a lot of stuff in there and a lot of fee income. So they jacked up my goals. And I was like, why are you like 2.5 or 3 times my goal next year? She goes, well, I saw your pipeline.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that at the end of the year. I'm
If
like
you're Michael Jordan,
taking everything out at the end of the year.
Expected to produce.
It's going to be a weak year.
Yeah, you're
and then I
expected to
blow
produce every game.
Yeah. So, I mean, which is fine. I mean, I'll be honest. We have a goal sheet that has a lot of different stuff on it. And I don't really pay attention to it, to be honest. You just do your job and everything kind of falls in place.
Yeah, it seems like there's only a couple times a year that I see you stressed, and that's when you got like 5 or 7 big ones that you're trying to do. And I think that you take a different approach than maybe some of the people, is where your clients are closer than just customers. You know what I mean?
A lot of them are.
And so I think that's pretty cool that they get, I mean, we'll talk about a little bit how we met, but like you definitely will walk people through stuff more than the next people will. I'd like to think that. And then also keeping the relationship alive with not just, hey man, you got any more deals for me? It's checking in on them, knowing their families, caring about them, taking them out for golf. We were going to go shooting today. Unfortunately, Fort Wayne weather didn't allow us to go shoot shotguns and stuff.
It did not.
But I think that's a pretty cool way that you do business, and I've always enjoyed that about you. And you're pretty well known, even when we weren't familiar with each other. After we became friends, like and partners, it was really cool to go to a bar and be like, "Oh, who's doing your loan stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh, this guy." And they're like, "Yeah, I love that guy. He's awesome." You know.
You had somebody at a bar say they love me.
Brad counts.
Oh yeah,
Stinson counts.
So one
Stinson's
person
gonna do the podcast too.
Sounds like it was a bunch of people.
Well, and then
you
knows
can embellish
everybody.
a little bit.
And then Evan, my personal trainer, he was like, that guy, he's awesome.
Yeah,
I think he wanted to be you more than anything. You know, he's like, that dude's awesome, and he's jacked. And
I remember him. It's
Yeah.
funny. I had a client one time that introduced me to. This is not you. It's unfortunately a client that was down in Indianapolis. He's a great guy, but he passed away a few years ago unexpectedly. It was sad, but anyway, he was funny, and I remember I think it was his 40th birthday party. He's like, "Hey, Chad, this is my personal trainer." I go, "Dude, you should be fired."
yeah, that's what you said about me too.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you said about me too.
Yeah, that's where I came up with it.
And I'm still fat, but I'm working on it.
No,
Today in the gym, just as a caveat, the workout was 10 minutes on the treadmill at a fast walk, just to get kind of like the heart rate up. Mm-hmm. And then it was lat pull downs, as much as I could do, but made sure I could do 20 times. Okay, so like,
how do you know how many you can do once you start doing it?
He lets me do a couple, and he's like, stop, and then he'll put it on there, and then he can tell by how much I'm like getting it. And then
so what's the goal then?
200. What's the goal? Is what as far as
why like high reps, and is that
just to lose weight and tone up? Okay. So I'm always going to be a big dude, but I want my chest and my tummy to be the same size. That's my goal. That would be cool, like what you see a strongman as, but like that.
Yeah.
So I'll always have a belly and I'll always have a big body, so I kind of want to just tone it up. So it's 20 of those, 20 205-pound seated dips. So you sit on the chair.
How many?
And then 20.
Okay. Yeah, I know what the dips are.
And then 205-pound bench press 20 times. It's a superset of all 3. This is the tricky part. Then you go down and do 19 lats, 19 dips, 19 benches, then 18, then 18, then 18, then 17, then 17, then 17. So for an hour and 20 minutes, that's all I did.
How long you rest?
Just until you could do it. I mean,
in between,
there was times where
you do a superset.
I can always go from lats to dips pretty easily because that push-pull concept.
But I mean, after you do a superset, it's 3.
No, you just keep going. I mean, you literally just have enough time to get the lactic acid like shucking out of your arms to do the next one. He didn't let me go get water. He didn't let me do anything. I drank a whole bang, even though it was kind of disgusting. Like drinking, it's because it's almost pop. Like halfway through, it was gross.
So you did chest, triceps, lats for an hour and 20 minutes straight.
An hour and 20 minutes is what it took me to do. 20, 20, 20, 19, 19, 19, 18, 18, 18, and then obviously 1, 1, 1. Yeah, here. That was an intense workout. And like that guy was like, I did it in high school. Like, you should be able to. I'm like,
In high school, everybody had a little more energy too.
I'm like,
that's
bro,
not a real good sell.
Bro, I have been hard on this body. I have rode this thing hard, put it away wet. Like, I'm not an athlete like that.
Wow.
So yeah, it was an intense workout. So I will eventually catch you on how athletic I can become. But yeah, as a caveat to that, let's talk about how we first met and everything, because it's a fun story. I tell it to people that will listen anyway.
Two people.
So basically, yeah. Right. Me and the dog, basically.
Yeah. Tucker
and the mirror and the stuff. So, like, I was working at a less than above water contracting company that did metal roofing, and we were going to leave and do our own. And I came to you. I forget how we got in touch. Exactly.
Might have been your dad told you to talk to somebody.
Yeah, talk to like the biggest swinging. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't there, so I happened.
So they hooked me up with you.
And Cammy might have thought our personalities.
You brought like an intern or something with you, which now I know he's like at the bank at doing big stuff or something. And you met us at a cigar bar. I had two partners at the time that I was trying to do that. You remember that?
I'll go upstairs.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, can I have $250,000? I want to start this. And you guys took a look at some financials, and you guys did background checks and did all that kind of stuff. And I tell it in the fact that you're just like, basically, yes, you can definitely have it. And so as soon as you said that at that meeting, I was like, okay. And I went all the next day, and we quit all of our jobs because I'm like,
you really did quit your jobs the next day?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah. So we all left and go, we made it. This idiot's going to give us, millions of dollars to go start our own thing. And it wasn't that. It was literally $250,000, I think I was asking for at the time. And I was like, that'll give us like 9 weeks to make money and do everything and build it out, everything the way we wanted. Turns out that's not how business works. That's not how banking works. That's not how handshakes, things, and you're like, oh, it still has to go through the bank and all these actuaries, and then we have to go to take it to what's it called when you do it every Friday or something? Committee, and all
that was under a committee.
And I was like, oh yeah, we are quit our jobs, and then it became the panic that set in, which led me to giving the title to my dad to my platinum pickup truck that I had at the time, and he gave me $25,000. Which I paid back in 6 weeks.
Oh, you needed.
Ergo, that's all I really needed.
Yeah.
But
I never thought you needed $250,000.
It wasn't. It may have not been 250.
I don't remember that number.
Thought it was. It'd be interesting to go back and check.
I remember at one point, I think you were looking at money. I think I don't know. Maybe your dad said something about getting some cash for taxes too, but I wasn't sure what that really. I mean, you didn't even.
I don't think that was a thing at all. I mean, we literally had nothing started except for a logo. I was going to use that money to buy shirts and outfit everybody with the latest greatest iPads and cell phones and computers and office. It was going to be a badass office and everything like that. What happened was I got an office on the bad side of town, the old Social Security building, and it was all in $500 a month, and that included electricity, rent, internet, everything. Yeah, Fairfield and Paulding. And that turns out that's all I really needed, and was a couple months there.
Yeah.
How
long were you there for?
Not that office, not that long. We grew out of that office pretty much within 6 to 8 months, and then we were in the bigger office, which was kind of like 10 of those offices combined on one side. It
was all in the same building, though,
It was all in the same building, and then it got bigger than that. And so I kind of remember, and you're like, I kind of told you, I was like, we don't need you now, bud. Thank you. But, we made it, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, well, let me know if you ever need anything else. And for some reason, you still continue to talk to me, even though I didn't need any of your services. And I don't know. Did I miss anything in there?
I don't know.
About our origin story of our best friendship?
I don't think so. I mean, it's funny you say you still talk to me after. I hear people, sometimes people bring a deal on something. They say, hey, just so you know, we are talking to another bank. I'm like, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't expect to win every deal I get. You just, I don't hold any grudges. If you do the deal with me, you do it. If you don't, it's okay. I got plenty of work.
Well, that's good.
And you just keep in touch. Don't burn bridges. That's the reason I had a really good start at Lake City, is I kept in touch with the clients, all the clients from before. And
you stole them and brought them to your new bank.
I mean,
I didn't know.
Several
I'm
that
kidding.
were.
I'm joking, of course, but like
they were big ones and very good ones.
They evolved into now and Lake City. Shout out Lake City if you want to sponsor. They evolved and you grew your business really quickly because you had such good relationships. And Lake City is what, the biggest Northeast Indiana bank or largest bank in the Midwest, or
no? I mean, we're about $6 billion. There's a lot of banks here in town that are bigger. We're based, they're based out of Warsaw, but First Merchants is bigger. Obviously, you got some of the big ones, Chase, PNC. They're obviously a lot bigger. But I actually did some commercial loans with Lake City prior to joining them. So I knew they were great to work with.
Yeah.
And I actually always said, I told my wife, if Lake City ever hires, they just don't lose many people, I'll probably go do that, because I always liked banking a lot. So that's what happened. She saw it on, I don't know what it was, Indeed or LinkedIn. I don't know what it was. She said something to me about it,
and then
of 7 years ago, I think.
And then basically what happened after it was probably 2.5 years after that conversation, I hit you up to see how much real money I can get out of you. And at this time, we were already in our own right successful, or up and coming at least. I thought we were big dicking it, doing like a couple $1 million a year, 2 or 3. And I'm like, we're amazing, and by then I was spending $1 million on metal a year, and I thought, and my business partner at the time thought, maybe we should make it ourselves. That's how it gave birth to this place. But I thought it made sense, and as I was going through stuff in life and turmoil, divorce and business partnership breakups and all that other stuff, Ryan's been on the podcast, we talked about all that, and basically we ended up going to the bank and going to you and seeing, and then you guys were pretty cool on seeing if it would be profitable to even do that, which was cool.
Yeah, because a lot of times people have good ideas, but they don't obviously always make sense, and you can't be an expert in everything. So that's why you surround yourself with people that have expertise in other things that you don't. You can't be expected to. It's good to know. I like to know a little bit about everything, but I can't, to the extent that I wouldn't expect you to know everything about what I do. Or I wouldn't.
It was really cool. It was really neat that you guys could be like, no, you guys could cut this and blah blah blah, and look at an average savings of X over this amount of years, and this is how we would service the loan, and yada yada yada. And it made a lot of sense to me. And at 30, I didn't think that, anybody would give me lots of money, let's put it that way.
Millions.
To go do that, and it's been super cool. Now we're going on the 4th or 5th year of that loan, and and they'll get reservice or something. How's that work? Like, like it's a 4-5 year term.
I don't remember if I did a 10-year or 5-year, but it usually reprices
5-year.
after 5 anyway.
And like, what happens during that? I think people would like to know, basically, when they have these big commercial loans and stuff like that for industry purposes, they're going to buy a lot of stock if they're going to do a new warehouse or something like that. When they do these 5-year commitments for so much money, what goes on in that? Because it's not like a refinance or anything, is it? I mean, it's like,
no, it is.
Okay.
I mean, most of the time. The majority of the time, because if it's a 5-year loan, it's not what's called fully amortizing. It's not, paid off in 5 years. It's on like a 15 or 20-year amortization. So you still owe a decent amount on it after 5 years. So we look to get it refinanced at that point. It refinanced with us.
And then it's also like at the current rates. And
whatever the current rates are, because banks can't, that's the thing that I see.
It's differing than the mortgages.
Yeah, because our money costs us X amount of dollars. It's a combination of federal home loan, federal home loan bank money, deposits. There's a weighted average between how much we have to pay for deposits, CDs, all that kind of stuff. Fed funds, kind of bundle that all together. Now, you can't. It's pretty risky to do like 10-year fixed unless you're, what's called match funding them. But because who knows what the hell your money's going to cost in 5 years.
Right.
So if I were just a bank and I just had this liquidity sitting there and I said, all right, we'll give somebody 10-year money at 4%. And if I did that 3 years ago, well, today our money costs us more than 4%.
Yeah,
because rates shot
that.
up.
Yeah.
Everything, because we have to pay more in deposits because people demand it. We have to pay more for Fed funds. We have to pay more for Federal Home Loan Bank funds if we want to buy.
And it's a business, right? You might get more. The
Yeah.
bank might get
So,
bigger, and yada yada.
That's how the savings and loan banks crashed in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you were born yet, were you? No.
88.
There you go.
88.
You
So
probably
I
don't
remember it well. I remember it well.
I'm sure. But they were loaning, long-term money at these low fixed rates. Prime went up to 13 or so percent. And about 88, I think, is about where it was.
I remember my parents telling me.
And then they lost money. And it's real money they're losing.
It's crazy.
And they're
That's
right.
someone
And
would
you
sign
can
up.
only do it so
we're
much.
at. Do you know? I don't even know. Do you know what home rates are at right now?
Like mortgages?
7.
They're like 7.25 maybe.
7
Or
and a
something. I mean,
quarter or
I'm
something.
guessing.
Yeah, no, it's
I don't
around
really know.
7 or whatever. But I mean, I locked in at 2.9
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, I'm under 3.
I mean, it was like 3 years ago.
like
It was a completely
free
different
money.
landscape, and now it's double that. I got people that will get half the home that I have and be paying the same amount monthly.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, that's just insane. And then to think, on top of that, my parents, in their early infancies of their marriage, were over 10%
Oh, yeah.
on a home loan.
Yeah. I remember my parents, he was over 13%.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
Talk about never owning your house.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, you can refinance
Yeah.
mortgages without prepayment penalties on residential and as rates drop. But in all reality, I mean, that rates of 2.75,
We're likely never to see that again, probably.
I mean, that's pretty low.
That's pretty
so, I mean, I'd never say never. But,
No.
But I also think that, people are like, oh, rates are 7%. It's ridiculous. I can't afford anything. Well, that's normal. I mean, it's really normal. At 2.75, 2.9, what we were getting not too long
Ridiculous.
ago. I mean, that isn't something you're going to see every day. So, yeah, I mean, that's.
And then along with that, my house is double in value. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, they're all
crazy.
like, yeah.
No,
No,
I'm
it's
not doing anything to
No,
it.
I mean, you can't sell a house now. I mean,
Where
because
do you live?
yeah, I mean, you're just going to pay a lot for a new one.
You
And
were thinking about it for a minute and moving out into the country or something like that, and then like
well, I just started. We made our house,
perfect.
more. Well, it's not. Yeah.
Chad does all of his own home improvements, which I think is cool. I'm always going over
Most.
there, and he's showing me like he built a wet bar in the basement, and he redid all these swinging barn doors and stuff for a playroom, and he built a miniature house playroom for his son, which was pretty cool. And he does all that stuff himself, and I'm like, cool, man. I would love to have a man around the house. Can't do any of that stuff.
Well, don't tell any contractors. I don't think construction's really that hard. It's just you got to have the right tools, a little bit of patience, and be detailed. Now, I would be a great and a horrible contractor. The people would love me because I'm like the cleanest. I'm sweeping up behind myself.
Flawless.
Oh, I don't like
Flawless.
mess. So I'm getting dust. I'm like sweeping it up while I'm working. But it takes a little longer then.
Yeah, you would be charging buku bucks for the work that you do.
Yeah. So I don't think
Thank you
anything
for
I've.
trusting us to do your windows and stuff in your house.
Oh, you did an excellent job.
I know that was a hard thing, and he would message me daily, like, "Hey, man, when are they gonna do that? Like, what are they gonna fill it in with this? And then what's the metal that they're gonna wrap the?" And I'm like, "You gonna have to chill out a little bit. Let my boys work, Like I promise it'll be sweet, While they're sweet with it." But we've done several windows at your house.
Yeah, I wish I could have done my roof, but
You got, however you decide to feel about it, you've got super lucky with the roof.
yeah, I think the fact I did have somebody come out and look at the flashing after they're done and made them redo some and fix some stuff and
You got it tossed up to storm damage, I believe.
all of it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a $47,000 job, and I paid $2,500. I got new gutters too.
Out of the deal. Wasn't original.
Well, I mean, you know, when you call the owner a cocksucker, apparently he gives you gutters.
And he'll give you gutters. So that no.
I mean, I don't know if that would work with you.
You can try it. I'm not sure if it'll work, but I am weak, and so I don't like confrontation. So maybe that's your way to get some free gutters every once in a while. But yeah, that's how we came to doing this, and we locked in the rate with you, and then obviously we'll have to redo that next year sometime in July.
Is that what
It's can't believe it's gonna be as a company. It's gonna be 6 years in July 31st. So coming up.
Huh. Yeah. Monday.
By the time this episode airs, it'll already be the 6th birthday of this company. So we did big at 5 years. I don't know what to do for everyone's asking me, like, we're going to do something. I'm like,
for your 6th year?
Yeah.
It's a huge milestone.
I was like, we rented buses and went to Top Golf and Dave and Buster's, and it cost me like $25,000, $30,000 for that.
Last year?
Yeah. That was a big year.
Yeah.
But I was like,
wait till 10.
Wait till 10. Like, I think I'm bringing like a carnival in here, like Midway, like where they have like games and rides.
You're going to have the carnies, like
everybody stay on site.
Cat calling people as they walk by. Yeah. Classic.
I think that'd be cool for 10 years.
It would be.
Get a band.
Get a small Ferris wheel.
And get Jason Aldean to come out and play. And that'd be sick.
Just listen to him on the way over.
Did you his new song?
Yeah.
People hate.
I
haven't even heard it yet, so I can't really comment on it.
It's a good song. I was like, well, I gotta see what all this
seen
controversies about. I'm like, so he's I don't get it. It's just
noise.
Somebody's got to be offended at something.
Your family grew a little bigger recently.
Yeah, just over 6 months ago.
Baby girl.
Rainier. Call her Rainy.
He's got one kid named Breck for Breckenridge.
Yeah, he's
and then Mount
6.
Rainier, Rainy.
And
then we got Noah, which is
we started with Arcs and then worked to mountains.
There we go.
Yeah. No, she's doing good. She'll probably be crawling soon. She's planking.
Is that good?
I think. Well,
she like showing off.
No, I haven't even seen it. Just sent me a picture. I mean, it looks like a true plank. I mean, she might have done the downward dog after that. I'm not sure. She cut it off, but
decent at 6 months.
I think they do. Yeah,
decent at 6 months.
It's decent. Yeah.
I can hold one for about 30 seconds right now.
You can.
That's all I got.
And then 29, and then 28.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If you give me a big rest in between.
No, I think she said that's like that's step right before they crawl. So she's like crawled backwards some, but yeah, so she'll be there soon. She's eating food now. Like we started feeding her. She loves it. It's like insane though. She'll whatever it is we give her. Say I don't remember what we had at the house the other day. Just like and it's like she can't get it in her mouth fast enough. So then, like, if she's got it and she ate it, then she wants. Then she gets mad because we're not like just constantly shoveling it in there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to breathe. I'm trying to eat.
Yeah,
and that's how I grew up and got the way I was. So
and I hate this age of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like mess. So when she's eating, there's just shit all over the place. It's just slopping all over and slobber's coming out. She's like feeding it. Oh no, I don't like it.
Yeah, baby Roscoe is getting to the age, my son, he is starting to like whatever I do is cool and he wants to go do it. I'm really looking forward to like 5, where he can really like get in the tractor, go do stuff, get in the truck, and we'll go places.
My dad told me that was his favorite year for kids because they're a lot more active in what you're doing, very curious.
And I feel like they're not as, I don't know, breakable when they get to 5.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you worry about them, especially when they're small. Start walking, you're like, oh,
and they still don't got it down yet.
There's a corner there.
Yeah,
and you're afraid they're gonna, like, oh, I can see his eye hitting that corner.
It happened last night. She's like boxing him out like a basketball move to keep him away from all the corners in the barn. And I'm like,
surprised you didn't have to put foam on every corner.
We did. There's just a little bit that was exposed. I'm not lying to you. You know
Can I see you later?
The what's it called? The cold stove or whatever. The what's that fucking wood stove that I have in the barn.
Cold wood stove.
Yeah, wood stove. And so it has that metal plate at the bottom, and we have the noodles on there, which either you or Dad put on. But it has just a little bit of the corner not within the foam noodles. And she was deathly afraid that he was just going to find his eye to that one corner, even though, like, it would take such a miraculous fall to get there, which it's cool. She's a good mom. But,
no, you worry about kids. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, you worry about them until they get much older. I mean, because I used to worry, still do a little bit, that, you know, you hear all, you know, every day you hear shit on trafficking and all that stuff. So I'm like, I've looked up, like, what are they looking for?
yeah.
You know, what age? Where they find these kids?
Can they make me a good deal?
Yeah. Yeah. How much can I get for each kid?
Yeah.
I mean, I got, cars to fix.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
God. Yeah. So, no, but I'm like, all right, Jess, when she's in Pennsylvania. My wife, Jess, is in Pennsylvania right now. She took kids and the nanny. And I was like, make sure, like, when you got at the rest stop, like, if you go in and the kid lock the doors, and I did that when, I don't know, I'm always afraid, like I'm okay, I can handle myself, but if I'm, like, in the restroom, I'm afraid someone's going to, like, open the door,
yes,
steal one of the kids,
then you're compromised.
Which I know it's, like, 1 in a million, but I don't care.
Yeah, no.
It's like, might as well, it doesn't do anything. I'm not putting a bubble around them, and I don't know what I'm doing, but, yeah, so I worry about that stuff.
When he walks out of the room, and, like, she's in the kitchen, I'll be in the living room, she's like, do you have eyes on him? I was like, nope.
Yeah, I'm not like that.
He's fine.
As long as I'm more, kids are going to fall. Kids are going to get hurt. You don't want them to get seriously hurt. I don't want them to hit their eyeball on a corner thing and, take out one of their eyes or, make them sterile by getting racked somehow. But, they're going to fall in there. It's okay. And as long as, in your house, I know no one's coming in, taking them.
No.
So I don't worry about that.
I live out in the middle of nowhere, so
yeah.
I'm good.
And they probably know you have
live
guns.
in a really nice, yes.
Yeah.
And you live in a very nice neighborhood, which is super safe, except for fires.
Fires, yeah. Well, our neighbor across the street did call me one night. Her husband was gone. I don't know how old she is. I don't want to guess. Maybe 60s, but
young 60.
Yeah, and she was, like, almost crying. Husband was gone, and she's like, Chad, someone was knocking at her door, and this was at night, so it was dark out, and he had a hooded sweatshirt on, like, pulled up, and, like, was ringing her doorbell, and, like, so you couldn't really see him. She was, like, freaking out, which I'm like, why would a guy come to your door it's like 9 o'clock at night, and this was not in the summer, so it was dark out, and with a hooded sweatshirt on, like, pulled up, like, acting, just strange. So I went over there. And
did you get excited and be like, "Oh my God, which gun?
Which gun should I get? I should get two, one for each hand."
Every man's wet dream.
I'm gonna put the sling on.
Like, all right, should I do double or should I get the long gun? What if he's running away? Like, I don't want to run after him. I should get the scope.
I get the sniper. I can mount on.
Should I get the 4X or should I get the 18X? I don't have the match rounds with me for the the Creedmoor. I don't know if I should. By
this time she's dead.
What if he's running at? She's been murdered.
Because I'm over there trying to put a red dot on a
she's been
AR.
I'm gonna sight this in a couple. Let me bore sight this in real quick. I don't want to seem like an amateur when I go out there. Did I
ever tell you when I bore sighted my 338 Lapua? So
can you even bore sight that because it's so far out?
Well, I mean, you bore sight to like 100 yards.
Okay.
And then you can go. Just like when, I mean, you want to get it close because that ammunition's expensive, so you don't want to be at the range.
Telling us like $7 a bullet or something like that.
$7.50 now.
Jeez.
Yeah. But it was like winter because I was on like a 1-year waiting list to get this damn gun. So anyway, I was like, all right, I'll bore sight this. So I've got a green bore sight laser, got all set up stuff. And I was like, where can I do? Well, we live on a golf course and there's a great porta potty like on hole 15. It's kind of got this fencing around it, but you can kind of see it. Nice, classy. But it's about right at 100 yards from my basement. So it was just getting dark out. And so I opened my windows.
You did not tell me the story.
I opened my windows in my basement. I've got my 338 sniper rifle on bipod on my bar in my basement, scoping it against the porta potty. I was like, man, if someone had to go take a shit in there and saw this little thing going on, I got this huge scope on it.
Guess it's over.
yeah, it's over. I'm done. That's how I bore sighted it. So anyway,
that would be funny if someone walked out and you.
Oh, it would have been hilarious.
You'd have been to jail, but like it'd been funny. Like,
I mean, it wasn't loaded or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, there's really nothing against that.
I wish we could have gone shooting today. That would have been fun.
Yeah, so I rescheduled it. I told you that.
Yeah.
That's fun. I'm thinking about doing it at. There's a place up north. We did the Ron McDonald Clays for Kids.
Yeah. What is that?
It's huge. If you said it, I'd know it, but I don't remember.
Not the Roush place. Roush Lake or Roush Lake.
No, I mean it's like it's longer than like this building, and it's got one where it's not a 5-stand. I don't know what they call it, but you stand there and they have the
just the 2 towers and then one in the middle.
No, they were coming from all over the place.
Really?
But you stand there. I think we had.
It must be closer to Indy because I don't think.
No. It's just north side of Fort Wayne. It's not far away.
No, there's nothing.
I promise. I never knew it was there. I don't think it's in Fort Wayne. I'll find it. It's up.
Huntington.
It's between here and Auburn. So, we were standing there, and we had like 4 or 5 of us. It was like a 5-stand, but there's no roof or anything.
Yeah.
And they had a board in front of you. You could put your shells in there, so you could. You could load them real quick, and it like did a 30-second thing where you start shooting them. And they're all over the place. So you're all shooting them, and you scored how many points you got for each one. But it was really cool. But then they had trap, skeet, and there was a ton of them. I mean, a ton.
I never heard of that one.
I never heard of it either.
I thought Roush was not Roush, but I heard the one that we go to, Hillside, was the nicest one. That was closest.
For skeet shooting, no, this place would be. That's all it has.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have rifle and any of that.
There's one.
Speaking of which, I got to talk to you about a rifle.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk. Bring it up later. The 50.
There's a place in Waynedale, right in the middle of Waynedale, that has clay shooting, and I go, how does that work?
Right in the middle. Falling down the license branch, and
dude, it is right next to the license branch.
Really?
Do you know where the old golf place is? Where it looks like almost an ice cream stand, like the golf place going into Waynedale. Before you get to the Arby's in the thing, there's a across the street. There's a skeet shooting place.
Are they special skeets that like they disintegrate or turn to dust? I mean, I don't hit them all the time, so I don't know.
Taking some kind of risk. I mean,
well, yeah,
it's downtown.
I mean, it's Waynedale.
Do
they have a downtown? I mean, what's the difference between downtown and uptown?
Yeah.
Waynedale.
No, I just thought it was crazy. I haven't gone there because I don't have any free time, but I've been so interested. And today, I had the guns in the car, about to leave. When you texted me, I was like, I could just go there for a minute. I have all the guns in the car anyway.
I had everything loaded up. Snacks. I did. I even put them in.
You know me so well.
Oh yeah.
You know me so. You had charcuterie board.
Charcuterie board. Yes, I did. We had some nice meats and aged cheese. Thought that'd be nice. I did have a. I did do though. I put a mix together because I brought music out last year, so I got my Hillside mix now.
That'd been fun.
Oh,
I hate that we couldn't do it today.
Oh yeah, I got country on there. It's all like shooting theme mostly. Yeah, it sucks. So. Let's segue into the 50 caliber. So I need to tell everybody what you want to do.
Yeah, I want to own a 50 cal with you.
Yeah.
I don't think that it makes any sense for one person to have a 50 cal because
it's nice to share guns.
Let's say on the low side you're at 7,500, on the high side you're at 12,500 for a Barrett. And
Barrett. I mean, you can get
you can get cheaper ones, but I'm saying I like the Barrett. I like the barrel that recedes into when you shoot it and things like that. And I've shot them before, and they're surprisingly not that much kick. Huge percussion, it messes everything up. But with that one, it was really nice.
That's a barrel we've shot out of Hillside too.
Where the barrel recedes into it too?
No,
I don't think it was.
No, that's a Barrett M99.
But I could stand up and shoot it. It was nuts. Yeah. And so I think that's the kind of one that would be cool.
So
and on it 2 people. Be fine, and then you keep it at your house half the time. I keep it at my house half the time, and it's more just like a showpiece. And then we go out. I think it'd be great for hog hunting in Georgia. Take it up there for a couple months. and blow away some hogs across the pond.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So I talked to the guy today at Hillside.
They got one.
He said, well, you can buy them. We get them every once in a while. He goes, where are you going to shoot it?
There. I mean.
They won't let you.
No, not in the 1,000-yard range?
So I was talking to the guy. I thought they did. He said, no, can't bring your own 50 here. They won't allow it. And even if you get certified.
Which you are.
200 yards max. But he said, that's why we call them, I think he said a barbecue gun, because can't use them anywhere. He goes, I don't know a single place in Indiana that will let shoot a 50 caliber. He said, you have to go to Colorado to go shoot that thing. I was like, really? I was like, what if you got a friend who has a dad who has, a few hundred acres in Georgia?
Yeah, 300 plus acres.
I didn't say that.
We'll find a way. We'll chop down trees with that thing. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be neat to have just from a
collection
But
standpoint.
I wish you could shoot it. That'd be my only thing. It's like, well, if I'm not...
shoot it.
Huh?
We will definitely shoot it.
Well, yeah, I mean...
We can shoot it at my house. We're just not going to be able to shoot it up.
I mean, that is... Well, you'd probably get in trouble for that.
Really?
I'll
have to look it up.
You're not in city limits, but I don't know. It's a good question. I mean, that's a big, loud gun. I don't know. And that thing will go miles.
I did get nervous the other day. Our front office lady, Jessica, I don't know if you've met her yet. She's really cool. She's been with us for over a year now. And she handles a lot of the data. She's really good at Excel, and she does some of the phone calls. And I've been putting it off for a while. It's one of those things like, she goes, can you teach me how to shoot a gun? I've never shot one. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I just been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Well, finally, last week, it was like Friday, and she catches me as I'm going out, and she's like, hey, are you still down to teach me how to shoot a gun? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We'll just put something in the books. I'll just kind of blow it off or whatever like that. She goes, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm like, do you have any plans? And she goes, no. And I go, come over. We'll shoot the whole arsenal. And
so you shot at your place?
Yeah. And I'll lead into why I was nervous at some points. But I start off small, 22. But I have that 22 Henry rifle, which I think is a fun gun.
Oh, it's fun. You walk while you shoot it.
Yeah. It's fun. I hip firing it.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then moved it up to 410, which is, again, you just pull a trigger. There's really no kick at all. And then did the 9mm Scorpion, which she thought was fun. And then she didn't really start smiling until the AR. And then she was like, this is sweet.
Gets louder, a little more kick. I mean, there's not a lot of recoil.
But she's 5'3", little Colombian chick. She's 5'3", and I was like, and so we shot that one. She's like, I really like that. And then I was like, hey, it's time for the 12 gauge. And what I did was I took 2 cigar boxes. Obviously, I probably have a few cigar boxes lying around most times. And nailed them to the tree with an open box. So like this, I nailed the spine of it in the middle, so it's kind of open butterflied.
Yeah.
They made great reactive targets. I mean, it wouldn't just like if you hit or miss sort of thing, not like placement wise, but if you hit or miss.
Yeah.
She walked up to about 10 yards away, blew off the top one, blew off the bottom. She's like, that was sweet.
With the AR?
Yeah. No, with the 12 gauge, my over under.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was like, she goes, I really like that one. I was like, what's your favorite? She's like, the AR. I'm like, fair enough. Yeah. It's got lasers and all sorts of stuff on it. And
it looks cool.
Scope, and it looks cool. And so we're putting all the stuff away. I go, we're done. I kind of ran through the whole thing, and she goes, do you have any other guns? I was like, do you want to shoot more guns? And she's like, yeah. And I go, yeah, I do, but they're not fun to shoot. She goes, are they really powerful and really loud? I'm like, they're the loudest and the most powerful. And she goes, yeah. I'm like, I'll grab one round apiece because I don't like shooting it, so I'm thinking.
What was it?
So I have that 4570.
Yeah, government. Lever action, isn't it?
Lever action.
Yeah.
Not fun to shoot. It hurts so bad.
I mean,
It hurts so bad. It shoots.
That's what
it shoots a bullet that big and like that round. I mean, it's almost like a shotgun shell.
It's like a brick that just shoots out.
It's great. It shoots a huge amount of bullet. A huge amount.
That's what that client of mine shot when he scoped his. You have a scope on, don't you?
No. Why would you put a scope on?
Well, I didn't think you would.
You want
but
black eyes?
I swore
you. Remember Cliff?
That's what I'm talking about.
Remember
I
when
thought
Cliff
he was shooting the
aced
45-70,
himself?
but that
No, he was shooting my AR when he did that.
Oh,
He put his
didn't
eye
even-
right on. He put his eye right on it.
pretty close. Well, it hit his glasses then.
Yeah, and then his
As
glasses
they fell down and
dented
cut his face. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But so I was like, and then I have the 300 Ultra.
Ultra Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
It's a big rifle.
It is a huge round. It is a huge round. And so I did the 45-70 first because I figured that probably it's a heavier gun. It probably won't be as much.
Yeah.
She lit up like a Christmas tree. She's like, that was awesome. I was like, you're like one of one females I know that would like love to shoot this gun.
She say she was Colombian?
Yeah.
Must be a Colombian thing. Because when I took our
Oh,
Colombian,
yeah.
oh, I've never seen anybody like giggle. That was shooting the 338 Lapua sniper. I mean, that thing
What
was
is up with that? Like,
oh,
you know?
she just like laughed every time she shot it. Loved it.
That's generally what she was doing. I mean, she was just like looking at me like I just gave her a great present. I'm like, I don't even like shooting it. And then I gave her the 300 Ultra, just same thing, just pow. And like, she kept her hands on both of the, things that went off the 45-70.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you shoot, like kind of like throws your hand back and stuff.
Yeah.
The 300 Ultra, she almost dropped.
Yeah.
But she caught it. It was good, and she loved it. I was like, that's pretty cool.
How many times did you shoot it?
Just once. I mean,
It's most of those guns. It's like once you shoot it once, you're like, yeah, I'm good.
She's not necessarily aiming at anything. We're blowing up
Yeah.
stumps, in the backyard. So it wasn't like, I had the range.
Should have waited till this week.
Yeah, I have a few more range, but yeah, I thought that was a cool experience I could give somebody, and
It is.
and that's why I think also be cool to have a 50, because that's the ultimate. Do you want to say goodbye to your shoulder muscle? Like, let's go.
I mean, you shot the one out. I shot mine 38 times in one day. My shoulder was fine. I mean, those guns weigh, that Barrett, I think, weighs like 34 pounds or something. I mean, that's a heavy gun. So it's got that big muzzle brake on it. And I mean, it kicks. Don't get me
Whatever we
wrong.
do,
And it's loud. It gives you a headache more than
we
anything.
get a belt that we can do, like the Mexican gun belts, where you put all the 50
Shells?
cal shells.
Oh, just across
in
the-
there.
Yeah. Look like.
I think we do some of the marketing with that. Not for Lake City, but for Perfect Steel.
No, I tried that. They wanted. I was giving away. I was trying to get some Lake City Bank stickers for I was giving away some gun cases. I mean, shit, it's America. But I understand.
So
You got to try to.
we
please
both have
everybody.
a love of family for sure. We both have
Mm-hmm.
a love of guns. Trying to think what else do we share. We do a bit of. What I think I appreciate about our relationship is we don't have to communicate every day, and then we can go right back to being best friends again. And I know that you have a best friend that I'm trying to beat out right now, but shout out Dan. But if I do beat him out, like we just go right back to doing the same things. We're there for each other in the best ways possible. You love to spoil my child now, and
I can't do it like you do. Though. I can't one up you.
You spend too much on their college account. I told you.
True.
You can buy better presents if you just cut out their college funds.
Yeah, cut out retirement and college
No,
funds.
just don't be a drama queen. Just their college accounts. It'd be fun.
yeah, $1,200 a month.
If you just have faith in your kids that they're going to get scholarships, then you wouldn't have to worry about all that. But
I mean, I think Noah's going to use his money. Breck's probably
he's
going
not
to
going
use
to use
his.
all that money.
Huh?
He is not going to use all that money.
I mean, how much? Yeah, he will.
No, he won't.
I still got to. Well, what do you have now? I don't know how much.
His oldest is going to engineering school.
No, architect.
Architect. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Rainey. I mean, out of everybody, should be the one getting the scholarship. I mean,
With C's.
I mean, she's not getting C's, dude. She's already we got her an abacus.
She's planking. She's planking already.
Planking.
Just probably enough to so she can work the calculator and stuff.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, my daughter's Asian,
Yeah. Which is super
Taiwanese, and Japanese, and French and Polynesian, maybe.
That's a bunch. There's somewhere in there. There's a grant. Somewhere in there. There's a grant.
Yeah, I mean, female, Asian. Yeah, she's probably gonna.
I'll put her on the board right now for some tax credits. I'll put her on the board right now as a women-owned business, and I'll take those tax credits.
How old are your board members? Well, I've got,
I got
Don over there.
6-month-old.
He's 62.
Yeah.
We got Mike. He's 48.
Yeah.
We got Rainier. She's just turned 7 months almost.
7 months.
Coming up on 7 months. Okay.
Almost 7 months. Probably. She's still out of plank, so she's been super active recently.
Yeah.
Usually she was just drooling and being a happy baby, but now she's actually giving back.
Yeah. Chews on corn on the cob. I mean, spits all over herself. It's great.
She is cute though.
Yeah, she is. But
I can't wait to do more stuff.
Yeah.
And spoil her. I have 6 more months till I can start being like, oh yeah, you know, the Uncle Austin loves you. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's the only reason I had to redo my house. So we had to make space for all the crap you buy.
I got you a storage unit just because.
Yeah, but apparently you didn't.
Apparently I didn't. Did you figure that out?
No, I forgot. I was really busy yesterday, and then today with the gun thing, I spent most. Yeah, it's not that it was that much stuff to do, but still I had to go back and. I know you wanted snacks,
Dude,
beef jerky.
I'm a slut for snacks for sure.
I didn't. Dave, speaking of beef jerky, did you eat that, or did your friends take it?
No, I ate it all.
Did you? Was it good? Did you get diarrhea?
It's not diarrhea. He makes me homemade beef jerky out of like really nice cuts of meat, and it's very just habanero. It's just absolutely ghost pepper habanero.
There's no ghost peppers in this one. 50. I think I had 52 habanero peppers.
Yeah,
all I do is cut the stem off.
and it's nuts, and
Teriyaki.
it goes hard.
It's good.
And I love it. But if it doesn't ruin me, I don't know what it is. It ruins me. I mean, it absolutely ruins me.
It doesn't do anything.
And maybe because I eat too much, I can't just have a piece.
Well, no, but I mean, do you eat a whole bag?
I eat a quarter of a bag every time.
I was calculating like how much I would actually have to sell that for to make money. Obviously I'm not a jerky, plan on manufacturing jerky. I'd have to sell that stuff for so much. I mean, because
It'd be $30 a bag or something like that.
At least. I mean, I spent like 40. I went to Costco.
Yeah.
I spent like.
Shout out Costco if you want to give old Laugh Your Way to the Top sponsorship.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Trying to get it where we can.
I think I'm their number one fan. But anyway, maybe $48 in meat. Then I got to get the habanero. I mean, habaneros are cheap, but Terry, I probably have, I don't know, I probably have $80 in ingredients. $70 in ingredients.
It's nuts.
Then dehydrate it, and then I do usually I
can't even stop talking about it. I'm
salivating.
salivating.
Vacuum seal them, but I didn't this time because I'm like, why even bother? He's just gonna eat the shit in one day. I don't really need to seal it.
It doesn't
to make
last
it last
2 weeks. It doesn't last 2 weeks for sure.
But yeah, it'd probably be just one of those little bags. I mean, $30 probably, but so.
How do you know how to do everything?
I don't. But yeah, it's funny. One of my friends, he's like, I'll bring him a bag, like, a good sized bag, but it's like 3 steaks. I mean, it really is. It's not like you get that much out because I cut, try to get all the fat off. And you got to buy, I usually use top sirloin, like a good top sirloin, because it has hardly any fat on it. You don't want fat. Fat doesn't dehydrate. So, I mean, I'd give him like a nice bag, like a gallon size Ziploc, but maybe not all the way full. I mean, it was probably like $60 worth of jerky in there. Like, oh, shit, this is all I'm getting? Like, gives me crap.
Dude.
But you know how much this, like, it starts
Dude,
this
it's
big
insane.
and it ends up like this. And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, relatively speaking. It's not that much work. But
No, it's sick.
the cleaning the fucking trays off afterwards is what's work.
The dehydrating trays?
Yeah, because I have, like, a mesh thing and these, yeah. You got to scrub it in the sink because that teriyaki and habanero get in there. And then when it goes on dry, I mean, it burns your eyes and shit, and it gets in your lungs because it's got all the habanero.
It's my favorite.
It's good.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
The burn is real. No,
it.
you know my way to my heart for sure. Do you see any a couple questions for you. One, AI is a big thing nowadays. And I've been super interested and into it lately. I spend a lot of my time and my day on GPT. And
My wife just introduced me about a week ago.
Okay. How much do you know about it? And
Yeah, so not much. Besides her telling me a little bit about it and getting on and asking a couple things. I mean, it's still in its infancy too.
Sure.
So it's only going to pick up more. I mean, it's pretty neat. I assume schools are going to start testing, like, when
They
you
say
can say,
they have a
write
program that can detect it. I'm not sure that they do, but
well, I mean, if you just, yeah, it's a good question. I mean, the thing is, because people say, oh, the teachers could just say to the AI app, give me a 10,000 word essay on microeconomics. And then, oh, hey, that matches what Johnny just turned in. Well, but every single day there's new shit going on the internet. So that things probably, I don't know how real time that is.
it will not give the same answer twice.
Yeah, I don't know. So you know more about it than I do.
It will not. And I'm super interested in it because like I want to explain to you like some of the stuff that it can do, right? And some of the stuff it does for us currently and like what it will do in the future. So it's almost as good as any attorney is now, and it's almost as good as any doctor is now as far as information.
Sorry, attorney friends.
Yeah, basic, high level attorney stuff and deciphering stuff, but it will what a paralegal would do in fine law and things like that. It will do more and infer way as good as they would.
What do you mean? Like it'll find?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like some of the cool things that you can do. Like so, you could tell it, hey, I don't know what. Do you remember the year that the Titanic went down? I know it's a weird thing, but like,
no.
Let's say in 1800, 1850, something, whatever, the Titanic went down, whatever. Okay. So is 18 blah, blah blah. It's a Wednesday and it's 4:00 in the afternoon or whatever. Like, is there anything I should know? And it will freak out and tell you need to get to deck 8 and you need to ask for this person. These lifeboats are available, because it has consumed all the internet on everything that's ever been written about the Titanic. And it will go crazy trying to tell you to get off this boat. It doesn't know that you're not on this boat and blah, blah, blah. It will tell you how to get off this boat and, it's going to hit an iceberg, blah, blah, blah.
So what's the difference between that then and like just Googling that date?
Google can't do that. Google can't give you that real time of like, you need to go to deck 7, blah, blah, blah. You can research that and find out. Well, all it does is give you, it's basically finding the next word to complete the sentence and exactly what it wants to. It wants to make you happy. It wants to give you the information in such a consumable form. So, like, it's a really cool thing for kids nowadays. So, like, we both have kids that are young, are going to grow up with AI. It's just a matter of fact. You can go, I want you to be Abraham Lincoln, and I'm going to ask you questions. And you can have to take the kids' questions and be like, what did you do on your 18th birthday? Or what, blah, blah, blah. Describe a normal day in the life of a 20-year-old, Abraham Lincoln. And it will act like Abe Lincoln, and it will talk to you as that, all the way through. And it will maintain that character, and it will tell you everything in deep context, because everything that's ever been written and produced has culminated in this, and will talk to you like Abe Lincoln or Christ for that matter. It consumed every gospel and everything on Jesus Christ. If you want to ask it questions, now it's not Jesus Christ. Arguably, it's everything that has ever been written about Jesus. And so, like, if you want to ask Jesus questions, you can be like, hey, you're Jesus Christ. I want to ask you questions on blah, blah, blah.
So, do you think overall it will better society or worsen it?
It'll definitely better for a bunch of reasons. One, I listen to a lot of podcasts about AI. So I think that I have a pretty good grasp of it. Our kids will grow up with AI. So Breck will be on the middle to high school level before it becomes really ingrained with everything. The thing to keep in consider, they will grow up with AI, almost like a partner. Every grade they got, every score, every touchdown they have, every ball they hit, every catch they make, whatever they do will be a culmination of everything, and it will learn everything about your child, which is kind of scary in one sense, but kind of cool in another. And it will, like, let's say Rainey wants to play golf. At some point, it will learn everyone else's golf stroke. It will learn how everyone swings, how they swing, and what their strong points and weak points are, and how to teach them to swing better using their own.
I have an app for that.
Things like
I do. I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's an AI golf app that you sit down, take a swing, and analyze it. And I do have one.
It's kind of like when it's real, and it'll be like a buddy. Think of it as a buddy that will be watching over your kids, and it will have them exponentially. It'll show them what they're weak at and what they're strong at, and nurture those things.
So go ahead.
And so I think that in the long run, I think we'll jump a few levels as a society. It's already coming up with new elements and stuff because it can think differently than human scientists or doctors or anything like that. So it's like it's coming up with new stuff all the time. And again, it's in infancy. So I'm in like no telling what it could be doing in the next 10 years. We're way far away from it taking over or doing anything like. We won't see that in our lifetimes because it's just not that yet. It is a simple what it has been taking in and what it's outputting. It doesn't have any thinking per se.
That's what I want. When I think of AI, that's what I think of. It thinks for itself. It
does not.
Almost emotions, which
it does
nothing
not.
Does.
People think that it does, then that's what
I don't. Think
people are worried about, that it'll have some kind of say. It will give you an answer based on what information and you gave it to prey upon. Like it only goes off of information 2020 and earlier. Everything that's been on the internet from 2020 and before, that's all the information it has. It doesn't have census stuff. It doesn't have some other,
To some extent, some of these places are already doing this. I mean, Amazon, for instance, I mean, I ain't shitting you. I think we were at home. We have a bunch of those Alexa things, which probably isn't good. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, so I never really thought about it until one day, I don't know, we were talking about something like, I don't even know what it was, laundry racks or something. Like we're sitting there talking and then get on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what's on there? Fucking laundry racks, like popping up. I'm like,
and you're amazed
how
by
the fuck
that. You're amazed by that.
Yeah.
We're not too far away from that becoming insane. Like,
no, I know.
Like they might deliver. Just try it out. Just try it out, Chad. I know you want laundry racks. Just try this one out. You can send it back if you want, or keep it. Blah blah blah.
They'll just send one to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna know all the points in your life. How you drive. Do you speed? Do you blah blah? What you like to eat. It will make grocery lists for you. It's gonna be a very big part of life. I don't.
Well, take away the way we think, though. I mean, that's what I worry about. When you have a computer taken away, it's like kids. They don't have textbooks anymore. There's a different way of learning when you on a computer versus textbook. I don't like it. They don't teach cursive anymore. Do you need to know cursive? Fuck no. You don't need to know cursive. Who gives a shit? But it teaches you a way to write and a way to think. It's like math. It teaches you logic. People think, when am I ever going to have to know the rate of change for calculus or multivariate calculus or abstract algebra? Well, you don't. But it teaches you logic. No matter what you do,
you make a really good point. And
that's what I worry about.
I think
dumbing people
I'm
down.
trying to get my dad on the podcast next week, and so I'll bring up a story and kind of like hint around. We won't really talk about a thing that's happened recently in his life, but I was kind of like asking him questions because he's by his own right successful, would you say, right? And so like I go, do you have anything like that you can look back on and you can say that you didn't do or you're weak at or you didn't apply yourself or yada yada yada? And he's like, math when I was sophomore on.
Yeah.
And I go, why? Obviously I want to know, because I think, every dad's your superhero, right? Yours was a giant, I guess, the most muscular man of all times. Mine was like just knew things before anyone else. I was like, it's weird. So I go, what was that? And he goes, math. I go, why? And he goes, because my dad saved up enough money to buy one of the first commercial calculators. And I go, I don't get it. He goes, once I saw that like the premise to what a calculator could do, why did I need to learn long division and do all this sine and cosine and blah,
Most
blah,
people
blah?
don't know why they do it. I mean, he's not alone. Most people think.
Well, that was, we're talking in the what?
No, people still today, though. Like, what do I need to learn that for? Because
and he goes,
it's not you need to know how to do it.
I'm not going to apply it. I will afford a calculator and I will be able to do math like you would do in trig, or whatever. And I was like, maybe that's how I feel the kids are going to be with AI. And I think that's what you were kind of alluding to, is like, with everyone's iPad right now. Like, does Breck have an iPad for what he does? Or
Well,
Noah at least had an iPad in.
He has an iPad, but so I'll be honest, we haven't been as good as we were. But and I don't want to make excuses. It's a little busy with the third child now, but we limited electronics to a half-hour day. When I say electronics, I mean phone, television, iPad, Kindle, half hour. I mean, more studies are coming out that blue light and blue screen is not good for kids, and they're very, Noah, for instance, when I tried, I had him in golf at the club and put him in there. I'm like, man, learn now because it's a hell of a lot easier. He didn't like it, it wasn't, and I'm like, it makes sense why. I'm not saying all, but a lot of younger kids don't want to play golf. I mean, they're sitting at home, they're on a computer, so they're overstimulated all the time.
Crazy.
They're doing 20 things at once. You're on a golf course. You like sit in a cart. It's like it's like fishing when you're out there for 6 hours.
They don't appreciate the same silence and
you just you hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait, and So I understand they're just overstimulated at home with everything that.
Yeah. Breck now knows how to farm, essentially. He
knows how to buy tractors and drive in the water.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he's farming. That's a hell of a program. If you ever saw that thing,
stuff is nuts.
It's ridiculous.
I saw videos and stuff on him. Like, you're gonna try to convince a kid to go out there and throw a baseball and wait, for a whole 3 strikeouts or 3 outs to, I get it.
Yeah,
it wasn't like that when I was younger. I mean, we only had. Yeah, Sega and stuff. So
Atari.
I was like, God, I suck at that, so I'm gonna go out and do other stuff. But nowadays, like, they can cater to whatever you're into or whatever. I mean, even like, because I remember I bought Noah Switch.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even after so long. He wasn't even that piece of technology was like, it's okay. It's not crazy.
I mean, I'll give it. And some kids have. All kids are different, but. Breck will play independently by himself, like on other stuff. Like he loves, as his cars and trains. He's always been into those. He will go downstairs and build this massive, 10-foot by 4-foot train track with, switches and all that shit for hours. And he loves it. Now, does he like clean it up? Fuck no.
No.
So, and do I like mess? No. So it's, But he likes it a lot. Does the same with cars. I mean, he just,
but like, there's a video game out there that will let you design your own track. It'll let you design your own cars and build up from the exhaust, tires, suspension, everything up.
I got him train simulator.
Did you really?
Yeah. Well, and I think he thought, the commercial makes it look like you're driving this train and you're going up mountains and shit. No, it's like if you actually play this, basically know how to drive a train. I mean, it's like all the switch you have to do. It's like over the top for a kid that's 6. Like, it's like, and a controller has like 94 different buttons on it anyway. And then, having to do everything in there.
The green button, it would just fucking.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't mind. He can, kids have pretty good dexterity when they're young and start playing it. But no, it was just like ridiculous. So, Breck's a little, he's behind socially just because he has fetal alcohol syndrome. So he probably doesn't do the same things that a normal 6-year-old would do. He probably does more what like a 4-year-old would do.
Socially.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to, I want to refill.
All right.
And we're back, and you're about to get rehydrated by some delicious Gatorade that I got for you because I know how much you love to quench your thirst.
Mm-hmm.
But we were on the break. I wanted you to see if you had any questions for me because I think that when I was talking about previous podcasts, I think it lacks introspective on my part. I do a pretty decent job of continuing the conversation for the other people that I interview, but I don't think we get a lot of stuff from me besides like the stuff that I'm interested in, the AI stuff and yada yada. But
yeah. Well, and kind of put me on the spot because I got to think of stuff. It's something I often ask somebody. If you could have more of anything in life, what would it be?
Oh, if I could have any more of.
I have an answer that's just come. I mean, it's always the same for me. Never has changed.
If I could have more of one thing,
Once I say my answer, you'll say, yeah, I'd do that too.
I don't know. I think it's more free time with the people that I love. I think that I get caught up in the minutia of everyday life. I really do.
Quick.
I think the time is fleeting, and I think it would say I would love more time, or I would like to be more. I would like to be 30 forever.
Time is my answer.
Time is the answer. I think time with loved ones though is why I love more time to work. I would love to have 7 more hours a day, 10, 12 more hours a day to have work to get ahead. But I think that, I have really great friends between you and Jimmy and Zach and Ryan and all those guys. Like, I really do have great friends, and my family is top notch. My mom, my dad, and and then Mindy and all that stuff, and Roscoe, and like all those people get the short end of the stick. They also get the best of me. Also, what I can do. I mean, like, I'm not just a simple producer of things, but
podcasts.
It's simple producer of podcasts, but like I am a way to solve a lot of their problems that they can't normally solve. Or
do you like doing that?
Yeah, I think so.
Because sometimes I don't like
solving the world's problems.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. You said that because sometimes maybe it was used to be more when I was a little younger. I would get a little frustrated. Like, you work all day, and sometimes work's tough, and I really enjoy my job. But
I think we both do.
Yeah, but sometimes you just have tough days, and that no matter what you do, you're gonna have those, and that's fine. Deal with it, whatever. But sometimes you've answered questions all day, you've done this stuff, you've figured out solutions to everything, and then you get home. It's like, I don't really want to like fix anybody's problem right now, or it's like that's all I've done all day. It's like, hey, do you know how to do it? It's like, I don't want to, That's why I wondered.
To me, I'm constantly creating space for all the other people. And then what I mean by that is, like, my personal trainer needs to make some extra money. So now I go into, I can work. I'm here at 6 a.m. every day, and I work out for an hour. And then I was like, I'll leave at like 6 p.m. and then I'll go and do work at the property. And I go, maybe what I can do is, like, since he needs extra money, I'll invite him to work with me while I do stuff so I can help him out. And then I'm like, Jimmy's redoing his kitchen right now because it got moldy or something like that. I was like, what I can do is I can do all this, and then I'll take this many days off, but I'll really just work remote and go in a half day and be able to, I'll create space for people that have a fire that I need to put out, that I feel like I could put out.
Yeah.
And those things.
I agree with that. And that makes a lot of sense.
But I also push things that are also important. And
it's hard to balance.
You're really good at balancing. I'll give you credit for that. There's been many nights where, I'm having UFC stuff at my house and it'll be late at night. You're like, oh man, I'm putting the baby down. I'm reading, Breck stories. I'm doing all that stuff. I'm like, I really find it hard to balance all that stuff in a way that everyone's happy.
Well, you don't have a fucking calendar either.
I don't have a fucking calendar. That's correct. And I did some more thinking about that, and I came up with why I don't have a calendar. This is a great topic. I'm so happy that you brought this up. Okay?
All right.
I don't have a calendar because my anxiety, which I have very little of. But what happens is I can't disappoint people, right? So
you can disappoint them if you forget.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't commit to anything, which means putting on the calendar is a real commitment, right? So I mean, like, you're gonna go. Like, then if you miss, it's you chose not to.
Yeah.
Your phone reminds you, like, hey, you leave in an hour so you get to this place or whatever. I don't do it because of the constraints that it will have, and I'm worried that it will. I had so much when you texted me that we weren't doing shooting day. I had 20 things that I could do. I was like, thank God we're not doing that today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, I just could go on to handle getting the tractor fixed because the hydraulic line broke on it. And then I had a house in Frankton, Indiana that we were doing, and they tore off one side, $68,000 house, roofing job. It's probably a $800,000 house. We tore off one side, started thunderstorming. I'm gonna like, I'm gonna get sued. You know, I could handle all the other stuff because we weren't doing that one thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel like if I don't commit to anything, like I'll have more time to do other stuff. And if I don't have anything, I can still go do that thing. But then nobody will just be disappointed that I don't go.
No, if it's something that's very important, you just remember.
No?
You got a friend's wedding. You gonna forget it?
I'll make it happen. I'm not saying I'll remember it. I will say I'll make it happen.
Like when they call you and say, "Are you on your way?" You'll, yes.
Yes,
I am.
Yes,
I may have
if
heard
I'm
that
in
before.
bed or whatever, we have a cigar thing that we're going to or whatever, and
oh yeah, I'm on my way. Be there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I just leave my house.
It's not like you just woke up.
Yeah, I
did.
did.
You should
100%.
know.
But I don't think that is a bad thing about me.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's cumbersome for the people that are around me. But I won't make a date with the insurance. Like the insurance people have been like trying for like weeks to get me in a room, and I go, I have Sierra for that. Just make a.
What do you use?
Lubke Rice, which is a Cincinnati provider.
I know that.
And they've been trying to get in the room with me, and I go, I'm whatever Sierra decides is fine. Just make a thing with her. Like, no, we actually need your signature and stuff like that. I go, she's my power of attorney. Don't worry. But I've made so many concessions along the way to make sure that I don't get encumbered by the minutia of the task or whatever like that. And finally, he's like, "What if I just text you in the morning and then sometime that day I'll come by?" I'm like, that works perfectly for me. Yeah. Like I can do that.
Well, see, that's what people that are around you have to do. That's what I've done. I just know I'm gonna have to remind Austin. I'm just gonna have to pop in. Sometimes I'll just say you in the factory.
Yeah.
If you are, then stop by.
Yeah, and like it worked well. I think it was a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe even longer, where you're like, "Hey, do you want to hang out?" And I go, "It's 11 o'clock at night." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm at the factory putting together a pull-up and dip machine.
Yeah,
I would love your help."
Hey,
Chad.
did you finish that?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it was 90% done, but I mean, you know.
I put some fine touches on it. We may have missed a few things during the, don't recommend alcohol beverages while you build workout equipment, but it worked out. But like, I liked that. You're like, "Hey, busy right now?" I'm like, "No, this works out great.
Yeah,
this works out fine." I'm not comfortable with disappointing people in that fact to put it on my schedule and be like, what if I sleep in? What if a customer calls me, I go out to their house and I miss the thing at the factory for the insurance people? What if, I would just rather wake up, you guys tell me where the fires are, let me put out them fires all day, and then I go to bed.
There's not many people like you. It's funny, I think of this sometimes. So I have one other friend that is kind of like that, but he's the kind of guy like, and so are you, and you remind me of him in that way. If he's out, doesn't even matter, camping, right? He starts talking to the guy next to him. The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go on the way home," which is not on his way home. Pick up a motorcycle. I gotta find a truck. He'll be like, "Well, shit, I got a truck. I'll just go." He'll just do it.
Yeah,
and he does that.
Yeah.
I don't know when people do. You would do that.
Yeah, 100%.
And he does that shit all the time.
I love that.
All the time.
When you bought your motorcycle, I was like, "I'll go with you." And you're like, "No, that'd be weird. Like two dudes running in the same motorcycle."
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna.
Yeah. No, I wanted to be in the person behind.
Yeah.
But I still think you should get a sidecar for it. I think we'd have a lot of fun.
Who's gonna be in that sidecar? I mean, have you seen the size of the sidecars? I'm not being.
No, I have never seen a sidecar actually in real life.
They're not very big.
It would be hilarious. Are you saying you're not a good enough motorcycle driver to have?
It makes it easier. I mean, Well,
you're welcome.
No, I mean they look stupid too.
So if I get a perfect steel one,
no, we're not wrapping the bitch.
We can do parades and stuff.
Did you wrap the ice cream truck here?
I did. No, that was the last one we did.
Oh, okay.
At the last place.
Jess asked me because I sent her a picture of it. Anyway, sorry.
Did you see it out there?
Yeah, I saw it last time I was there. I've seen it.
So that's coming out here soon.
Yeah. So yeah, time is and
you always say time is the thing that you want more of?
Yeah. I think with time you can do anything. Now, depends who you are. Some people are just gonna waste it. But I don't know. Well, you will never hear me say, and I hate when people. My biggest pet peeve is when someone says, "I didn't have time." Bullshit.
Correct.
You may not have made. I will say
it's a cop
I didn't make time, or, well, that's usually what I say. I didn't make time. You always have time. You can do something else.
I get on your level like that though, because you do like home projects that would take contractors months, and you will knock it out in weeks.
I do not like to have stuff half done.
Yeah, correct. And like you just shift things very correctly, and you be able to get things done. I don't do that. I shift the immediate stuff out immediately for the next fire.
Oh, I'm very task oriented.
You're really good at that.
Check.
You're really good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
When I handle stuff, like I was on the phone earlier with Ryan, he goes, "Hey, confirmings, blah, blah, blah. I need to be in so many appointments, and I'm not getting these appointments, and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, that's weird. They're doing a really good job of filling up the board, giving us lots of leads. Yeah. Wonder why you're not running. And then I go, I'm going to have to hang up on you right now, handle it, and call you right back, or I'm not going to do this. Yeah. So I hung up on him. I go to confirming. I go, hey, Ryan has this X issue, or he's not getting the leads. He wants leads. Well, he's in the Indy office bracket, and we don't have that many canvassers in Indy, blah, blah, blah. I go, transfer him to the Fort Wayne office where we have 22 canvassers. Yeah. Make him, blah, blah, blah. And it was solved. But if I wouldn't have done that, I would have forgotten. It would have been.
Oh, no, that's why I keep all kinds of lists, for work, because, I may have 25, and they're no different. You have tons of stuff. So I'm not comparing myself to you, but I'm just looking at my, remedial position and what I do. And I mean, I forgot stuff a couple times, and it like shocks me when I do. I'm like, how the hell did I like not call someone back that I said I would or something? It's very rare, but it's because I'm very task oriented. Get stuff done. I have to knock them out. And if I have I don't have a lot of skills, but my best skill would probably be I work very efficiently.
When I saw that you had a spreadsheet for the vacation with you and your son for New York,
by like minutes,
that's when I knew
fucking work.
The dude probably takes his time management to a whole nother level, and something I could learn from. But the discipline in that, I like the start and the finish, and I like handling everything I can in the 12 hours or so that I spend at work a day. Like that's what I like to do. It works for me. I'll also spend 18 hours at work, but like the 12 hours that I'm legitimately at work, having it documented of every single second, I just don't work like that.
Well, I don't work like that outside of, I don't work like that with time at work and stuff, because even at work, how did you always were like this, or you were always like this? Yeah, I've always been like that.
So can you tell the people at home, because they would love to know, can you tell how to structure their lives like you do?
Take Adderall.
I know you don't take Adderall, but
yes, I've been taking Adderall for like 9 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not know that. So besides drug-induced focus, can you tell us how to set up the life that you live, where you have time for everything, it seems like, and the best way to balance the work life, family life balance? Because I think that a lot of the high-level people that I've been with and talked to, and most of them, but they either are really good at one thing or the other. And I really appreciate both people. By the way, if you kill it at your job and the work is your life and you're number one, I love that. Like, I think I'm that probably more than anything. If you are all-star dad and you make it to everything, and you're the coach, and you are the nanny, you are the house cleaner, you are the people waking up with them and putting them to bed, I also really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you find a way to do kind of both, and I'm really interested to like, and I really want you to tell the people at home kind of like how you set that up, and like how do you defer that stuff.
I'd say part of it's hereditary. My mom's 76. She still can go to bed at 11:30 at night and get up at 5 and just go. And she's like me. I'm always moving. This is the most I've probably ever sat. But I have to be doing something. I don't like sitting down. I feel like I'm wasting my time. But probably more importantly, don't commit to things that are going to take your time that aren't important.
Yeah, you don't play video games. You don't play computer
No,
games.
but, when you called and said, could I come over? Like, that time.
Yeah, cool.
Well, normally I would. I mean, but you're also like a half hour away. So there's an hour, then 2 hours. So there's 4 hours. And I was reading, So I could have said, yeah, and I could have done it. But then I would have been letting go of some other things, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and
that's
did
why
you really
I
give a shit that I didn't come? No. I mean, you weren't, don't get me wrong. I would have been a blast there and probably been the life of the party. But the fact that I didn't come, you're not pissed at me. You're like,
no, never pissed.
That makes
never
sense.
Pissed.
He's got a kid. He's reading them books. I'm not going to tell someone,
if
hey.
you were that person that came every weekend and then you stopped coming, then I would be pissed. But because I know your priorities and stuff in life.
Yeah, I mean, so don't overcommit to things. I mean, part of it is working smart. I don't know how to teach that, to be honest. I mean, I think that's just, maybe it can be taught, but I think it's natural. And I don't, my wife probably hates me because I always say it. But like, if I'm going downstairs and I know, like, we have this little area, like a little cubby that, like, if we're upstairs and there's like a cooler and we know it goes to storage downstairs, put it by that little area or whatever. I mean, anytime I walk by there, I'll grab whatever I can. I mean, I'm the guy, I don't make 2 trips at carrying groceries in. That's like a waste of my time.
Never.
I will put 4 bags on each finger.
My hands be bleeding.
No, it looks like I had like rings on every finger that were 3 sizes too small.
You've worked on the railroad for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that stuff, and I don't like, the more steps you put in something, the longer it takes. I tease Jess about it, and she's great. And I don't mean to pick on her, but that's the only person I can think of now. But like, all right, say the kid's clothes, right? All right, take them out of the dryer and set them on the thing in the laundry room. And then the next day, move them from there to the piano, which is close to the steps that go upstairs. And then a couple days later, move them to the bedroom where they'll sit somewhere before they actually get hung out. I'm like, there's like fucking 8 steps there.
Right.
It's like, take them out of the dryer and they just go straight to the hangers to the room. I mean, now, do I do it 100% of the time? No. Do I do it 80%? Yes.
Yeah.
Probably more. I try to make one step, just A to B, and that's the quickest way.
You find having that structure in your life.
I don't do it on purpose.
But I think that you find solace in that, though, like that you have that structure, relied upon that, because I know how you are about cooking, and stuff too. It's like, that if you do it your way, it'll be done. It'll be done correctly. It'll be done efficiently, and we won't have to worry about that anymore. We won't have to be talking about that tomorrow. Being like, remember when you said you were going to cook that? Be like, I just didn't.
And that's a tough thing for me too, because I have had to let go of some of that stuff. Because if Brecky wants to help me with something, it's very hard for me going, well, I don't know, if you don't, do this right, then, if you don't make that cookie round, it's going to come out all fucked up. Well, and who gives a shit, really? Right. I mean, I do, because I like things. But so I do let those go. Not all the time. I try, when I think about it, I'm like, oh shit, no. But it's natural. I'm just like, no, I want to do things the right way. And to me, the right way, or the way I do it. And if someone shows me a better way, I'm not an asshole about them. If someone shows me and goes, hey, you could, I will do it. Like, you're right. I don't have a problem doing that. But, and maybe that's why over time I've, loading the dishwasher, I get twice as much shit in there as anybody else in our house. It's like, really? You put a fucking plate in the top?
Yeah.
Like, see this huge bowl that takes up half the bottom?
You're a monster.
No, just wash it by hand.
Yeah.
It takes 2 seconds, then you don't take up half the fucking bottom. I mean, just little things like that. So.
No, I enjoy that about you, because
you're the one.
You are the only person in my life that are, besides my dad, pretty much. I mean, he's more of a facilitator than you are. You're do it yourself, and I really try to take notes on how you do stuff. I am.
You'd kill yourself. You can't do it. You got too much to do.
I try to do both. I try to do like everything in my power. Like, when we have the common fight with your spouse, not having a fight, argument, like, I don't want to do all the laundry. I don't want to do all the dishes. I'll do everything. I will get all my 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. stuff done, I will also come home and clean and do laundry and do the dishes and cook and clean and do all that kind of stuff. But also, it's nice for me to rely on people and stuff. And I think that's why I have such great friends, is because they really see that and they take it upon themselves to kind of take that. Whether it's Mindy, whether it's my best friends and stuff, they're always like, last night, I get texts. Can we hang out? And I go, no, I'm chopping up wood. I'm splitting wood and stuff to do for, whatever. I don't know if my iPad syncs to this, but hopefully nothing bad happens. We can edit it out if it does. But I'm splitting wood. I filled that up last night.
Nice. It's like a cord.
Last night.
Yeah.
By myself.
I mean, you got that gas-powered lawnmower. It's not like you got a fucking axe.
I'm doing all by hand.
You're out there. Fucking Paul Bunyan in this shit, dude. You're sitting there smoking a cigar, moving it with that thing. It probably has something that loads it in that little thing, doesn't it? And
so great.
You do have to hit the button, though.
I have to work the lever, which is, I get calluses on my hand. I get calluses on my hand.
You probably have carpal tunnel by
But
the time
he knows that I won't
130.
ask for help. He knows that I won't ask for help. He knows that. And so he will just show up.
Yeah.
And start helping me do stuff.
And that's good. And that's, yeah. See, I don't have too many people that, maybe I don't like getting help too. Here's what I found. And maybe I've gotten burned too many times. Whether it's at work or home or whatever. First of all, I don't like to sometimes I feel like people should just do something without me asking.
Oh my
God. When's the last time my kid,
my boy,
unloaded the dishwasher without me asking? Never. I mean, no one. So it's like, but even at that, if I just at work, if there's certain things I get too busy, so I need help keeping up with some stuff. But what I find over and over again is it's not done right. I get farther behind because I didn't do it. So I end up getting pissed and then basically trying to do it myself again and getting caught back up because I don't like things, past due or anything like that.
I went in that with Ryan the other day. Ryan's a big believer in his own talent. And I think that you are too. Not in the same egotistical way that he does it, but he really feels like he could get rid of the bottom 3 people and make up that work. And whether he's right or wrong, I haven't really dove into that. But the team will always accomplish more than the individual. You couldn't raise all 3 kids by yourself and and have the same outcome that they're having right now.
Everybody's expensive.
You couldn't have the same life that without your partner. You couldn't have the same work atmosphere without the underwriters or the assistants, or I know you have interns at some point.
I am the underwriter.
You can't do it all, and you can accomplish way more when the other people are involved. And I enjoy that part of business. I enjoy that part of life that I found out that I can accomplish more as a team. And I think that's part of the reason why I treat so many people so well, is because I know their value. Like other people are like Ryan, which he'll agree with me 1,000%, is that he won't value people the way I value people. Like I can do all that by myself and blah, blah. Yeah, but you're not gonna be able to do that for the next 10 years. We can develop a team that can do what you can do. And they'll do it for 10, 15 years. But, you're going to have to rely on other people to make it happen. Yeah. And you can make it happen more consistently and stuff. Like, you're going to go down. Like, he's having surgery at the middle of next month. And, you're going to be down. Like, if we only relied on you, we'd be done. Yeah, I can rely on you when everything's good. But we're not going to be able to rely on you forever.
So what I think part of it is, too, is I got tired of being disappointed with results. That if I ask someone hey, can you do this? I don't want to have to tell them 3 fucking times. And someone make a mistake. It happens once, it's fine, no big deal. But when it repeatedly happens, it's okay. It's so I have to now write down shit I fucking tell people. Hey, I told this person on 8/4 that I needed XYZ ordered.
Correct.
So when just and I don't ever throw anybody under the bus, but I will say something to them, and I won't include their boss in it or anything like that. I don't want to do that. But it's like, I know I wouldn't have fucked this up. How did this happen? I'll go back and look.
Right.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Okay. Why? Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot, or whatever. It's like, God damn it. Okay, one time's fine. Whatever. I'll take it. But then when it happens repeatedly, that bothers me. I want to. If I ask something to be done, if you tell me yes, then fucking do it.
Yeah.
Or come to me before I told you it needed done or whatever, and tell me, hey, it's going to be pushed, instead of fucking not saying anything. Communicate, or it's really going to piss me off.
Yeah.
So
I think that I find myself, I've struggled, and I think both of us have struggled recently about liability of assets, and we make jokes about it all the time that my people are hard on my stuff, like whether it's flat tires or whether it's dents in the side of equipment or it doesn't work, they're 8,000 miles over oil change, or they're wrecking your cars and tearing off your mirrors and doing all that kind of stuff. But I still think when I manage these people that I wouldn't be able to do all those things. Like, could I have driven there and not messed it up? Probably. Would I have been able to get the oil change done on a timely basis and not, if I was in charge of the vehicles?
Put the gas cap on.
But I don't have to put the gas cap on so it doesn't rain diesel inside my box trucks. Things like that. But if I wouldn't be able to do the other high-level stuff that probably either makes us more money or stops us losing so much money. And so that.
Do you ever get upset that people don't take care of your shit?
Not as much as I used to. And that's the true answer.
No, I believe you.
Yeah, not as much as I used to.
Because you're like, all right, I'm able to do all this other stuff. I don't know. I always feel, I don't know, like if I ever borrow anything from you, I mean, you know this.
Yeah.
I usually bring it back nicer than I took it. I mean, that one
it's
time.
my dad's rule. You leave it 5% nicer than when you got it.
You're doing me a favor by letting me borrow something. Like, I remember the first time I borrowed your fucking leaf blower. Fucking Armor All that bitch. I mean, the thing was nice. Fucking shiny. Probably still is. Mm-hmm. I used like the Extreme. So, no. And that's just because I'm like, I don't know.
That's my dad's rule.
But that's kind of maybe
5% nicer than when you got it.
But maybe that has something to do with maybe how you grew up to or something. And I don't mean other people did. I don't really know.
No.
But my parents are like that. I take care of things more so if someone let me use them. Like and I do stupid shit too, like buying your smoke shit for your diesel truck. Like I didn't fucking know. I just saw that.
You probably are an outlier in all that kind of stuff as far as doing that, to the level that you do it, at least. Let's put it that way. I think it gets lost. I mean, if you have over 50 employees, there's no way that you can track everything that goes wrong, and there's no way that you can fault them for every single thing, because it's like we're all humans.
Oh, I don't think you need to track it. I was just
my thing is like what it does to me. Like if I would track it in such a fashion where like, dude, you messed up 3 vehicles in 8 months. So
here's your reward chart. You got 3 frowns in a week.
Three frowny phrases you don't make.
You're
bonus.
getting a fucking toy.
So like,
no,
it's tough. It is tough. Like I've had to make concessions along the way, and we joke about it all the time about things that are messed up, but they're not built by angels in heaven. We don't work like that, and not everyone's going to be the same standard, but maybe that's not why they're on our level, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of young guys on my crews, and they're finding their own way, and they have to mess my stuff up. I'm sure I messed up my dad's stuff when I worked for him, and I'm sure I messed up stuff in the kitchen when I was younger and stuff, and maybe that's how I grew. I don't remember that explicitly, but
no, and don't get me wrong, I don't think everybody messes your shit up and
they do.
Purpose.
Yeah, they do.
But to me, I look at something like that, kind of like I look at being on time. I'm very punctual, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got somebody here, but so I'm never late to anything, and I don't wait on anybody either, because I think it's rude. It's kind of like, I think
Here's a question for
it's
you.
my time.
How long do you wait when you go into a restaurant with your family? How long will you wait for food?
For actual food? Once I order?
You go into the Olive Garden. No. When you go into Olive Garden, how long's the wait time? Like, will you be acceptable?
Oh, to actually wait until I can sit down?
Yeah.
Oh, any more? Fucking
yeah, sure.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. So if you go into a Mexican restaurant, they say it's gonna be 15 minutes.
I usually ask them like, is it really 15 minutes, or is this like Great Clips where it says it's 20 minutes? It's actually an hour.
I don't wait for food anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the last time I've waited in line, so that is a tough question because I don't either. I don't really go places that, do that. The other thing is what we used to do, like if we go with friends. No, normally we just get, if we're going out to eat, we get a fucking reservation.
Right.
I don't have to wait. Or
right.
We slip the hostess like a 20 or 40 bucks. They will fucking seat you next every time.
100%.
So
I just like to ask that question because I feel like
it's a waste of time. Just stand there.
It's a weird waste of time. Like in the airport, you don't have a choice. Like you have to go to this place and you're gonna wait in whatever line, TSA, boarding, whatever, you're gonna wait in all that stuff. And so like if you're gonna wait on it, you're gonna wait on it. But like as far as restaurants concerned, like I do not wait for food.
Well, and I'm honestly, you don't look like somebody that waits for food.
Never. My day's too full. I can't do it. I can't do it. Any other questions for me? I feel like we're coming to a pretty good end to it. I liked what we talked about, and I appreciate you being on the podcast and stuff.
What would you change about me?
What would I change about you?
I wish that you were change. And
I wish that I met you earlier in life because I feel like we could have had.
Me that's changed.
We would have made more memories. I feel like I wish you were younger than. I guess wish you were less.
I was
encumbered.
gonna say you were like 2.
Selfishly, I wish that you were less encumbered so we could spend more time together. I think that when I explain our relationship to people, they're like, "Oh, so you guys hang all the time?" I'm like, we rarely hang out. We rarely hang out. My other friends, we hang out every single week. Every single week, half the time I work with everybody, and I know I tried to switch you to the dark side and have you come work here because but obviously I can't afford you, but I wish that I would have met you earlier in life because I feel like we could have had more memories together. And again, that goes back to like, what would you want? I want more time with the people that I care about, like I don't think that I would change you because you're such a unique person. You're not like any of my other friends. And not in the just respect that I would hold you in the high regard of having your shit together, which you do. But it's more of like you have exposed me to different people. You've taught me different things along the way. You've held my hand through the financial stuff. You've helped me grow as a business person and as a human being. And I think it's pretty cool when you find someone in your life that can do that for you. Because like most of the people, when you find someone that's going to impact your life in a meaningful way, it's usually a relationship or a family member. Like it's usually not an outside perspective, in my opinion. It usually has to come close to home. Yeah. My best friends didn't impact my life at all as far as learning. They may have enriched my life. They made my life better. They made my life bearable. They made my life more fun or whatever. But they family and the kind of relationship that me and you have, it's been really fruitful. And my parents, they were really good about exposing me to that kind of stuff. People like you, very early on in life, so that way I would have a different perspective than the rest.
You
of the
need
people.
both.
Different perspective.
You know what I'd change about you? I wish you'd ask for help sometimes when you need it.
Sure. Sure, I'm sure that.
And I don't do it either well, but
you don't do it. I mean,
I need help with like kind of borrow a truck, but like
you won't let me actually physically help you with anything. But also, I don't ask to help you at all because I know
you show up with a big truck.
I know that I won't be able to be fruitful in the endeavors that we accomplish. Like I would never be able to finish a cabinet like you finish a cabinet. I would never be able to paint a laundry room like you paint a laundry room. Like I just wouldn't be able to.
Paint a laundry room?
I really like if you would help me like do the rocks in your yard and things like that. Like I would have been great at that. I'd have been great at that.
Well, you got a toolcat. I could have used you.
I'd have been great at that.
That was horrible.
Pick things up, put them down. I'm great at that.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah. For me, it's kind of I get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing something before and after. That's why I like to get stuff done. I don't like to see stuff in progress. Before, after. Big into that. It gives me a lot of satisfaction. Like, I still like, we'll walk in and look at, and none of this is, trust me, I'm not skilled. It's not, putting a subway tile up isn't that difficult. A lot of people put up crooked shit. I'm just a little bit more careful. So, because I don't want crooked shit, because I'll notice it and it'll bother shit on me.
Right.
So every time I look, I'm like, all right, that looks great. Actually, I'm glad I did that. And just seeing those things that have progressed, because I've done 6 bathrooms at the house now. The only thing I didn't do is our shower and stuff, because I'm not gonna. Could I have done it? Yeah, anybody could do it, but I don't want to fuck with waterproof in a shower.
That's a lot.
And doing the Detra shit or Schluter system, I think it's called. But no, I don't want to do it, and that's a big, big chore. So, and I don't do it because money. I just do it because I enjoy it. It's like a hobby. It's like my therapy is what it is.
So let me ask you this, then will be our final point before I shut this down. What do you think that your strongest asset is, and why you've been wholly successful in life? What do you think your strongest asset is? What makes Chad more than the next up and coming banker or whatever? What makes Chad be?
You got to be available. I mean, I tell every junior lender that, and this is just work related.
Sure.
For this part. So when I started off, I asked for my position. It's like, just go fucking ask for it. Worst I can say is no. So I went up to one lender. I said, hey, I want to be a lender. I was an analyst for 18 months. I mean, it's not very long. We have analysts that are analysts for 4 years here, and then they're loan admins for another 5. So 18 months. They're like, oh. So what they did? I was here in Fort Wayne. They're like, all right, we'll send you to Mishawaka. You're going to be a lender in Mishawaka. I didn't know anybody in Mishawaka. Like every lender there had gray hair, old, country club, buddies. They knew everybody in town. So I'm competing against that. So I actually, to some extent, initially, I was torn. I kind of had confidence I could do it. I was like, yeah, I can do this. No problem. But I also was like, how the hell am I going to do this? I'm like, I don't know anybody here. So I figured it out. And a couple things I did.
Well, yeah. What did you figure out?
So I bought a Lexus. Now I was only 27 years old. So I did a lease because that was the cheapest way I could do it. It was a 300. I mean, it wasn't nice. But, for me, it was a great car. In 20s, driving Lexus. I was like, you know what? I got to at least look successful. So I bought nice suits, nice clothes. I looked the part. Don't act like you don't make the decisions, whatever you do. I mean, now, you have to be humble. Don't get me wrong to some extent. But don't ever act like you aren't capable of making any decisions what you do, because you are. So the biggest thing I did, though, and I tell every single junior lender this, say, here's what you do. You don't have any experience. You don't have any knowledge. You don't have any contacts. But you know what you can do? You can be responsive. Because most people aren't responsive. And every person in business, almost, wants answers. And they want to know, if you tell them Wednesday, it's going to be Wednesday. If they call you, they like you to pick up the phone. So I told people, they call me after hours. They call me Saturdays, Sundays. And I'm still like this. I've never changed that. And I like that. If I wasn't able to answer the phone, I'd call them right back. I mean, you know how many people, like, I didn't even know this market. They'd come like, oh, shit, I didn't think you'd pick up. Or I didn't know you were going to call me back, an hour later. Usually it'd take Jerry 4 days to give me a call. And when I said, no, I will get something done. Now, you can't oversell anything, so don't be a yes man. Never be I am not a yes man.
You always underpromise and overdeliver.
Or I don't go. Now, there are times where things are out of your control, but that's like 5% of the time where I can't deliver on time. So I give them plenty of heads up, like, hey, just so you know, this I can't this is going to take a little longer. But I give them plenty of heads. I've never had an issue with that. But most time, no. If I tell them something's getting done, yes, I try to beat that date, but I will get it on that date. And be responsive, and all the other shit will come.
Yeah.
No, and then, I worked my ass off when I first got in banking. That's why I suck at golf. I didn't have fucking time to golf. I put a lot of hours in and had to do a lot of reading and research and try to get up to speed and all this stuff. And then once you get past that point, it does become easier. But unfortunately, banking has also become more difficult. So there's a lot more competition, a lot more things you got to do, a lot more regulations you have to follow, and all that stuff. So, but for me, I don't care what don't get me wrong. I care what my goals are at work because I get a bonus based on them, but I don't give a shit. I set my own goals, and that's what I go after. And I set them to where they're high, but I usually hit them. And sometimes they're ridiculous, and things are out of your control sometimes, but a lot of things aren't. And, if you do the right thing, and that's the other thing, do the right thing for the clients and the bank. The bank, I will never throw the bank under the bus. They're my employer. I'll stick by, even if they make a bad decision that I don't agree with, I'll have their back, because you can't not do that. You have to. Now, doesn't have to agree with it, but I always take care of the client too. I had a client it was a few years ago. He couldn't believe I called him. I said, hey, and I don't remember I don't deal with CDs and stuff that much, but one of our CDs went up. I knew he had given me a bunch of money, put in a CD. So he said, hey, this CD, you can pull all but 10,000 out. You can put it, I'd suggest putting another one. You're going to get 1% higher rate. It's like, shit, really? I can pull that? I'm like, yeah. It's like, why the hell are you telling me that? I had someone at work say something like, well, we don't really want to push that. And this wasn't like an executive or anything. No. And I said, here's the deal. If that guy came to me in 2 months and he said, hey, why didn't you tell me about this shit? Then I'm going to look like an idiot. Yeah. So I said, you know what? We may have lost 1% on that. We're still making money. We may have lost 1% rate on that, but we'll make more than that in the relationship, because I've just earned, a lifetime of, as long as I don't fuck something up, a lifetime of business, and he's not going anywhere else.
And I think that we do share that. Do right by your customer. Do right by your customer. You don't do your own research. I think that's also important. That's a common thread in all these podcasts that I do, is that I really preach do your own research, because you can be whitewashed by any bank. We're the best bank. We give the best rates. We're the blah, blah, blah. We're the best roofing company. We have the best windows. You can get whitewashed and all that kind of stuff, and they tell you what to say. And do your own research. Find out what is better, because I don't want my guys to go out there and sell anything that would put the customer at a disadvantage.
And that's one of the most important things, because in a lot of businesses, banking's big in this. Steel roofing, they can say the same. You guys are a commodity.
Yeah.
You have money, you let it do it. It's a commodity. You're a commodity. You build roofs.
It's roofing.
Well, so what's the difference between me getting my, now if a client can go to another bank and get 1.5% cheaper loan, they're probably going to do it, because they don't like me that much.
It depends. Yeah, it depends.
You know what I mean?
It depends.
Sometimes it's easier to work with me, or do the,
you can say customer service is an issue. You say this is my niche, and I know more, and I'll be able to help you in the future. But I'll make you. And we do the same thing, right? Yeah. So it's you will get a roof. It'll be lifetime. Everyone else's roof is lifetime, yada, yada. I have shown that, I can service you this much better. I have done this many more projects than the next best guy. I have warranted this much stuff.
Get all this stuff. You can make it right here.
Exactly. And that speaks volumes. But if they can get something that's so cheap, we don't force them into any kind of bad deal. We really want. The reason I tell my salespeople to sell so hard, and the reason that we tell them to go over every nook and cranny and really dive into their life, is because if I don't sell them that product, our product,
they're gonna get some shit.
They're gonna get sold by someone else, and it may not be shit. It may not be. Okay, there's other people that do really well. Okay, there's just a fact of life. I'm a really good metal roofer and window installer, soft fascia gutters. I'm really good at it, but the chance of them getting a poor person, a poor installer, or not a very good person, or a person that won't warranty stuff, or may find financial trouble or whatever, that's way more of a likelihood than getting another good person that's reputable that'll beat our price.
Yeah.
It's way more likely that they get screwed. in the future. And if you want your customers to get screwed, don't try to help them out. Because if you let them make their own decisions and they're not fully informed, they're going to make bad decisions probably most of the time.
So I have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
We need to wrap this up. If you had to think of something that keeps you up at night more than anything, what would it be?
That's very interesting. Something that keeps me up. I have a hard time falling asleep anyway.
Are you thinking about something?
No, I just think that, and maybe you know this too, like when you work out and you do stuff, like you're in different times and when you get those ketones going in your muscles and stuff, and like you get that burst of energy.
I don't sleep
after doing
much.
that stuff. I don't sleep much at all.
Yeah. But there's certain things that keep me
I
up.
sleep 5-6 hours a night. I'll be honest.
Oh,
with
I don't
you.
get more than that.
That's
maybe
all
5,
I sleep.
maybe.
I fall asleep at.
No, but you know what I mean. There's certain things you worry about or you think about. Like
I worry about the longevity of being able to be in a position to take care of all the people that I care about.
Yeah.
That's what takes precedence over everything. I make a lot of decisions every day, and they're weighted upon the ability for me to take care of
to sustain this lifestyle for.
Not my lifestyle.
Lifestyle meaning
my lifestyle's been
your lifestyle is your family
ascertained.
Too. That's what I mean.
It's been certain since week 11 of this business. I've never paid myself any more money.
Yeah. What I mean by your lifestyle is
of taking care of
care.
And so like I need to make decisions that put us in a big win, so that when people, you've been through health scares in the past. And, I've talked to Jimmy.
I'm like 100, so.
Jimmy has had the kidney thing as well as, you've dealt with, the big C. I want to be in a position so that those things have less effect than it would be on a normal person. Like if you work, and then there's nothing wrong with working at Wendy's or McDonald's or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, obviously I'm keeping them in business. But if someone in your family and someone in your tribe gets sick, there's hardly anything you can do besides help them, take care of them and go bring them groceries and that kind of stuff. I was able to pay for Jimmy for an entire year of being off work.
Yeah.
And that'll mean more to me than anything, you know. That made me feel amazing, and that's what keeps me up at night. That's what's the next thing that's coming? I want to be ready for it. Yeah. Because there's going to be a downturn in the economy. That's going to happen. What if old Chad, the bank stuff goes way down and they have to let him go because he's not making quotas?
Well, I would never come to you.
I
wouldn't even tell you.
But I would be able to take care of. I would be able to, there's a lot of people here today. I looked at a house with Stinson, actually. I looked at a house that was less than 1,000 yards away. Only because I have some people that have trouble getting housing, whether it be background, whether it be credit score, whatever. They can't get into a decent housing for them and their families. I can provide that based upon the good decisions I made weeks and months and years before, and I don't want to stop doing that, and that's what keeps me up. Yeah. Is there anything that keeps you up at night before I kill this off? And also, can I have the water?
Yeah. I mean, it's always the same stuff. Oh, sorry.
Tell me, Chad Glassburn, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Not succeeding or I don't like when people are mad at me. Like never. Family, friends, whatever. I'm pretty bullheaded too. So like,
I'm almost sensing a sense of like competition that comes with that.
It is. There's certain things like people are like, well, you don't seem that competitive. You suck at golf. You're not. I'm like, well, yeah, but I know I suck at golf. So what's the use of being competitive? I don't care. I'll never. I can't. In order to get good, I've got to play like 4 days a week, and I can't do that.
Right.
I mean, I could, but then I'd be divorced.
What keeps you up though? What keeps you up at night?
My brain's always thinking, like
of
Everything. I mean, literally, it's just
next day's meals. Is it the
no? It's not.
it
It didn't really
meeting that you're gonna have.
Thinking, okay, I got to do this
to a client.
It's really not those specific things necessarily. It's more
is it
items
weeks and months? Is it years in advance? What
so
is it?
It's not specific things. It's like, all right, I got to figure out how we're going to get to do a big trip to Europe, or how are we going to do X, Y, or Z, or with the kids. So there's just a lot of always like big item things that I think about, and there's specific things that I sometimes think about, and I like, oh shoot, but I don't. And then I feel like I'm like, if if it's like 4:30 in the morning and I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I should. I'll just get the fuck up. I'm like, I'm not gonna go back to bed for an hour. I'm just gonna get up because I can burn an hour and get something done.
Correct.
So I'm always afraid I won't get done what I need to get done. I always do because that's how I work, but that's mostly what keeps me up. But yeah,
I like it. I mean, I feel like you as a person get a lot more done than the next person and stuff. And so I really appreciate you being on the podcast, and I really appreciate you diving into the nitty gritty and giving insight to your life and stuff like that. It's been hugely important. And hopefully in the future, if you want to hear more stuff about banking, or if you want to hear more stuff about commercial loans, if you want to hear more stuff about how to start your business and how to go about it, I mean, I know there was a lot of business plans and stuff that we didn't go into, but like we're definitely part of.
That gets pretty boring.
It gets pretty boring, but like you want to make sure that you have a good plan. If you want to go into any of that stuff, please message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and any of those things, and ask us what you want to hear about. I'll have Chad back on again. You'll definitely see him in the future. But Chad, I want to appreciate you and take the time out of your day to be here. And thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers, bud.
All right, cheers.